Hi, this is Rayo Advocacy, and I'm attempting to give you a 15-minute version of what the current crisis looks like for me. I call it a crisis because parents are going crazy right now and just trying to deal with the new school environment. Okay, so what you have is that the new school environment includes the old model. Schools were supported, teachers were supported. Um, the teachers would have teaching aides in the classroom. The teachers would have push-in services for special ed and other types of special populations. So teachers had support, aides, and other things in the classroom. Now, and the students would the pullouts would communicate with teachers, which is not going on right now. So teachers and pullouts are not communicating right now. And teachers, and so that means that the student doesn't have the aids, doesn't have the push in, and very seldomly has this pull out because pullouts tend to disappear. Curriculum assistance people don't, because they're not communicating now the way they used to with teachers. They have no clue what the student is at, where he's at. So that's a big problem. That was the old model. All right, and a new model in a little bit. New model again is that the teacher's all alone. Teacher is supposed to provide push-in services, um, but cannot. The teacher's not licensed. The teacher doesn't have all those qualifications in special ed and doesn't know what's expected. I don't know what your curriculum standards are. I don't know what state standard is. I don't know what federal standards are, what the kids have to meet. But you expect me to be on equal footing, which cannot happen. Cannot. There's no classroom access by parents. We don't have access to Google Classroom. None of that stuff. Good Power School in some schools is totally eliminated, especially Wendell Middle School in particular. And again, students are caught without any pull-out services. Aside from, so the teacher is supposed to be the pull in, pull out at times, and you can't teach and do all this for special needs students or whatever. And not only that, if a student is lacking counselors, has behavior issues or whatever, that teacher cannot do all that during one classroom session. So when you have the teacher by themselves in the new model, you're having problems. All right, student experience is this. Students. I cannot believe how much less classrooms are going on right now because if a teacher is out, there is no sub. The class is canceled. Period. Done. Over. Okay? And then parents are all those school resources. So parents become all the school resources for the student. That's impossible. Okay? You're expecting me to be in the house, first of all, number one. And that's saying, hey, look, parent doesn't have appointments themselves. Second of all is that parents are not licensed to provide all those teaching resources. I mean, we don't have a certificate in early education or anything like that. So you expect me to do all that. Not only that, the biggest, craziest thing is that as a parent, I'm supposed to leave the students home alone on a regular basis to go get them lunch and breakfast from the school pickup. Really? Really, guys? Did you think about that? Did you think about that a parent is leaving the home with minor children to go pick up lunch? So the student experience is horrible because less classes and you're trying to use parents as resources and, you're expecting that relationship to be good altogether. So let's continue. Then you have Power School. Parent doesn't have access to Power School. Parent doesn't have access to Google Classroom. No logging monitoring. And so the parent becomes, again, certified computer technician, the lunch pickup person, the tutor, all right? And parents are expected to leave children at home. Cook lunch. I cook lunch on a regular. I'll get up early in the morning and cook their lunch so that they're not complaining that they don't have nothing to eat. And when they have their break, they have something to eat. And then where they're supposed to be the meltdown professionals for these kids when they're frustrated. My kids get so frustrated with these technical issues from WCPSS and the thing. Remember here, in this household, this parent had to purchase over $300 worth of equipment. New computers, new routers, new stuff to deal with WCPSS. And that's just not acceptable. Now, this is pretty much the economics of this new model is interesting because during the time when people are going out of work for COVID, you have teachers only, okay? No more push-in, no more pull-out special ed, no more extended day teachers. For example, if a child in special ed or any other regular ed student needs tutoring or whatever, there's no more extended day teachers, okay? That doesn't exist. I mean, there's no tutors exactly. No more substitutes. And extended school year teachers is interesting because one student was offered extended school year this year, but the teacher, the person who was supposed to teach that extended school year, said that they would only be available 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes per day. And then the student was expected to do everything else on their own. So you're getting an extended day full teacher being paid fully for a day, and they're only there a quarter of the time. So the economics is this. A lot of people are unemployed right now. The push-ins, all the resources that teachers tended to have are gone. And so you have teachers that are stressed out. Okay, so then and you have students that are stressed out. I mean, you figure a student who needed to be there early and stay before school and after school to have extra services to bridge the gap, they don't have that opportunity. They don't have extended school year as supposed to be. I mean, when someone just hands-on teaching them something. It's just the economics is hard because a lot of people are unemployed, and because the school system will not have Google Classrooms where in there right next to the teacher is a what do you call it? The push-in services or the teacher aides are not right there appearing in the classroom right next to the teacher. You have none of these classrooms appearing in that matter. The new WCPS model is parent as all special ed student resource, and God forbid if you have a developmentally delayed student. Oh my gosh, so they're expected to work, a lot of them are expected to work from home with a DD child in their home or MR child in their home. They just can't do it, okay? These school systems are not making WCPS in particular. So the parent is all special ed education resources, is the counselor, is the meal provider, is the computer tech, and is the teacher. All right, because they're expecting us to teach the lessons and do the lessons and do the homework with these kids. We can't do all this by ourselves. Sorry. Your model is not working, all right? And you're expecting us to be in that capacity and that certification training, which is not. So what happens is parents are losing their hairs, teachers have no support, and teacher support personnel are out of jobs, period. Parents losing their hair, teachers no support, and support personnel out of jobs. They're gone. So is this working? Here. This is what's happening. We are getting nothing. Students are not getting anything that they need. Teachers are not getting what they need. And support personnel is not getting what they need. Everybody out of work. And these new models are not working. And not in WCPSS anyway. Especially at Winter Middle School. Just trying to give you 2 cents in terms of what the new education environment is like. Hope that helps.